Welcome to another bonus edition of Another Pathetic Podcast on the road. And I'm your host, Michael, and this is my brother,
Patrick.
And we just came back from the Habs game because on the road for us means we're in Montreal. So, what did you think of that game?
Well, I think the first thing we got to do is tell everyone to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yes, that's true.
Thing.
And share if you can.
And share. Share and share alike. Okay, about this game. Now, we all know what happened in Detroit. Wheels fell off. We talked about it. But tonight, first half of the game, it was looking
Well, the first 10 minutes of the first period were the usual, come out like gangbusters. They look great.
They scored, Slav scored that goal. But then...
last 10 minutes of the first period.
And, they fell behind 2-1. But what was happening through the whole game, they were doing the same thing that happened in Detroit, even the same thing that was happening against Boston on Tuesday. Second to the puck, like the loose pucks, losing all the puck battles, losing all the physical battles. And it was just like, sooner or later, this is going to fall apart on them. And then they fell behind, and I was thinking, and through the second period, for a lot of it, it was like they were just grinding us. They were just,
the funny thing is, Kevin, my friend Kevin, who was with us, one of the Les Boys, was saying to me that, he noticed like how well the Islanders were moving the puck.
Yes.
And we seem to be chasing them. The Habs were chasing.
And every time we tried to do something, they would get a stick in front of the pass. They tip things. I mean, it was frustrating. They were frustrating the Habs. It was frustrating for us. And at the second intermission, we were kind of like,
Didn't they tie it though? They tied.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
They won the second period.
It's all a whirlwind.
Yeah, but still, you were thinking.
But they went ahead, didn't they? Did they tie or go ahead?
They went ahead, but we got a penalty right at the end of the second period.
And
they scored early in the third, and it was tied again. It was like, okay. And then after that, there was some chicanery going on, physical stuff that the Islanders were being allowed to get away with. And the Habs got upset, and they started taking numbers and
grind the puck.
Well, they did more. They ground everything. They started hitting. They started dominating, and they just exerted their will and started popping pucks in the net. And I mean, it was a historic night. Cole Caulfield with the hat trick, goals number 41, 42, and 43.
43, yeah.
He had 4 points on the night. Yuri Slavkovsky, 4 points on the night, 2 goals, 2 assists. And
Suzuki with 5 assists.
5 points. So that line accounted for 13 points.
Yeah.
Which is insane. It's okay to be a one-line team if that one line is scoring 13 points a night.
Yeah, crazy.
I wouldn't say that is sustainable, but it was nice to see tonight. There were a fairly good number of Islanders fans in the crowd tonight, and they were
some left early.
They were pretty cocky when Schaefer was having his way, but when we started caving them in, they left early. There was a guy right in front of me, and he buggered off with about 7 minutes left in the game.
Yeah,
he couldn't take it anymore.
Even before the Bolduc non-goal because of the offside.
Yeah, it was almost 8-3. It was just they also had a goal that was disallowed because it was hit with a high stick.
I mean, that was so obvious.
And it came at a time of the game where if that had counted, it really might have changed the outcome of the game. But it was disallowed, and it gave the Habs a second chance.
If we were doing our topics, if this was a weekly episode, one of the topics, again, unfortunately, would have been the referees because both Tuesday and today, I don't know about, I can't quite remember Detroit now.
Well, Detroit wasn't the referees. We did it to ourselves.
Yes, but Tuesday and today, the officiating was brutal. There was at least, and again, I wasn't watching on TV, so I had no commentary, which sometimes that's a good thing.
Well, I was watching.
There was at least 3.
I was scrolling, and I was looking at comments, and at one point, someone did the STFU Gary Galley.
Oh.
So obviously,
Good on him.
Yeah. So they weren't too happy with his analysis, but they never are, and there's no reason why they should be, because he's garbage.
He usually adds I'm sorry, Mr. Galley, but you don't add much. You state the obvious, and sometimes you state things that I don't believe are true. And I'm not trying to be a homer. I looked at some of those, and at first I thought it wasn't a penalty, and they replayed. It's like, yeah, okay, he hauled. Gallagher did trip. Okay, but that aside, the egregious calls that were missed the other way. One, they replayed it right on the big screen.
It wasn't the calls; it was the non-calls.
That's what I mean. Sorry, it was should have been a call.
One of them was like the referee was blocking the screen.
Yeah.
So it's not like he didn't see it. He
definitely saw.
He chose not to do
call
anything about it, and it wasn't the only time.
And it's not like at that point the Canadians were running away with the game.
Matheson's stick was chopped out of his hands, and there was no call. So
it was not just chopped out of his head; it was broken.
Yeah,
he broke the stick.
And that's usually an automatic slashing penalty, and it wasn't this time.
So at the beginning of the game, I did see some comments online, because I tried to look, because you're looking at the game live, you don't always see everything, you don't hear the announcers, so you don't always see who was responsible for what.
For the noise.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're listening on the TV and you hear the announcers, so I saw a lot of comments saying, Struble messed up on one of the goals. I didn't see that, because the one I saw was Hudson, who got no points tonight, notably.
Yeah.
He was dicking around with the puck again at the Islanders' blue line, and he blew it, and they came back, and it was kind of very predictable that the Islanders were going to score there. And Fowler wasn't sharp.
Yeah, but Fowler didn't have the greatest game, at least the first half, but he made the saves he needed to make. He recovered. He made a few key saves, and that's all you need him. It's like, like I said, the last one, it's like we don't even have to worry about goaltending being an issue or a bone of contention anymore. It's good enough. They lost in Detroit, not because of goaltending. They won tonight, not entirely because of goaltending. They played a role, but it wasn't the goalie stealing the game. They took the reins and they put the boots to a team. And this is what we were talking about against Boston, and their inability to close. We were talking about coffee is for closers. Well, tonight they get the coffee, because they get the steak knives and the Cadillac.
Yes,
because they closed and they didn't let them up off the mat. They just kept pouring it on. So kudos to them, because they finally played like it's time to get busy. With 15 games or 14 games left on the schedule, they needed to get busy, and they did.
But talking to our three friends that we were with tonight, we all agreed about one thing. It was a weird game.
Yes.
It was a weird game of ups and downs. And again, I don't think it's weird with Canadians games. It's like they had a lead of 4-3 at one point, and there was 16 and a half minutes left or something like that. And you said to me, yeah, but they're not going to hold that lead for 16 and a half minutes.
No, they're going to expand on it.
Well, we were lucky that they did, but it could have been like, there's many games where they're leading, even if they're playing well, you can't count on them to end the game,
strong.
Winning or strong. Even when they went up 5-3, I've seen games where the wheels of the bus has fallen off and it's gone to over. Maybe they win, but it's gone to overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at this and go, I love the win. The atmosphere was great. It was a lot of fun, but I look at the playoffs and I say, man, what is it going to look like in the playoffs?
Well, if they can play like they played tonight, the playoffs will be fine. But this is probably an outlier game, an 7-3.
Islanders, Sorokin, right?
Yeah.
He was chased from the net. So he had a very bad, we were looking up the stats beforehand, and he's number one in many categories in the NHL. This is his 44th game.
I don't think he had a bad game.
Ooh, I do.
He just got ventilated.
I don't agree. The goals he let in, some of them were Monty muffins. They were terrible. The 8th goal was Riddick. He was Riddick.
But
I don't know when he got. I'm not sure when he got pulled. Was it after the 7th goal?
They scored. No, I think
Was it the
Might
sixth
have been
goal?
I think they got one legitimate one on the back.
On Riddick?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Chronicles
I might
of
be wrong,
Riddick.
but who cares? The thing is, I don't think that Sorokin was terrible, but they just ripped him apart.
Yeah.
Just like what it shows you, this offense, when they decide to do it, they can do it.
Yeah, they definitely
It's just
can.
on the back end, cleaning up the sloppiness in the back half of the ice.
I'm really curious to
You know?
see how many hat tricks Caulfield has, because I don't remember. I know that I haven't witnessed on TV or in person a hat trick from Caulfield. I know he has a lot of 2 goal games.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if this was his first. I don't think it was his first, but he doesn't have a lot.
Still amazing that that stat that came out that he has no empty net goals, not just this year,
ever
in his career, not one empty net goal. So when Bolduc scored, I turned to Pat and said, "Oh, it's our Michel Goulet."
Yeah.
Anybody remember?
At the end. Yeah, but no. You can't really any complaints or qualms that we would have about this game would be nitpicking when you win by 4 going away. I mean, the Islanders are just happy that it was the third period, not the second, because they would have had to spend another 20 minutes getting run out of the rink. So,
well, except that Montreal can be way ahead, and they, and I still say
tonight was not the night they were going to.
I'm going to look at the highlights and look at some of the tape, because I'm really curious, because I don't think Fowler played well, but again, we're watching live, so it's a different experience. It's very interesting because you get to see what happens off camera. You get to see who's doing what.
He wasn't, like.
I thought
that went in.
He looked great at the end. He made some
at least one
saves.
of those goals was kind of, but I can't. But
but again, defense didn't look like that giveaway by Hudson.
Yeah,
was bad.
I mean, that's one thing. Hudson tonight.
No points tonight.
Well, no,
but
not even any points.
They have him playing with Strudel. I mean, and like, look, I mean, that's handicapping him.
Yeah,
that's not a
playing
good
on the wrong side and playing with a slug. But I mean, the puck seems to be allergic to him lately. Every time he gets near it, it jumps over his stick or under his stick or through his legs. It's just off.
But he
gets a pass back to the point and it flips over and it goes out of the zone, and he wasn't on.
As many people said, like, he's still young. And, when things aren't going 100% great, simplify. And he certainly didn't simplify. There was, again, those long passes trying to thread it through multiple Islanders.
Too cool for school.
It's like these passes are what I call low percentage, meaning that there is low percentage chance that they're going to be completed. And again, we're going to nitpick, but that's what this whole podcast is about.
And of course, up against Schaefer, who... in certain areas of the game was just eye-poppingly good.
Yeah.
He wasn't making mistakes. I noticed in the pregame skate, like, he stayed out. Everybody else on both teams was gone. He was.
I was surprised that the Habs allowed him to be the last person off the ice. I was kind of like, they don't normally do that.
The days of Shane Corson and Claude Lemieux waiting around so they can put the puck in the other guy's net.
Well, I don't think they should do that, but they didn't wait until Schaefer was off.
They didn't. Schaefer, I mean, I haven't seen him play live before, but I suspect that's his thing. He just probably the last guy off.
But I thought that was Hudson's thing. You can't keep him off the ice. Like, I thought that was his thing. That's our thing, and he has the same number.
I don't care if Schaefer's on the ice when there's no puck.
Well, there was pucks.
But
he had pucks.
Yeah, but he had that, and that goal he scored. You can't blame that on Fowler.
That was a good goal.
He wired that thing right under the bar.
It is unbelievable. That guy is 18 years old.
Yeah,
holy cow.
With apologies to Ivan Demidov, who's having a great year, but Schaefer is just, wow. He's a shoo-in to win the Calder.
Demidov's not going to win the Calder,
but that's fine. The Calder is a 1-year thing. You can only win it once.
Listen, I would rather have a cup than a Calder.
I'd rather have a cup than anything. I'd rather
actually,
have a cup than a gold medal.
I think the most players would rather have a cup. Like, look at McDavid.
Yep.
It's like, I don't want to be MVP in the playoffs if I don't have the cup.
Winning the Four Nations or the gold medal.
And people that criticized him, it's
meaningless.
Like, go away.
Yeah.
Like, be gone with you. He did the right thing.
Yeah.
Like, what is he going to go and accept a cup for most valuable player when his team lost? Like, why would you do that?
No.
I totally agree with McDavid in that sense. Ridiculous.
You win the cup. Anything else, if you don't win the cup, it's like it's
another pathetic failure.
Well, yeah, it's meaningless. Olympic medals, meaningless. Four Nations, meaningless.
I don't agree with
World
that.
Cup of Hockey,
we don't agree on these things.
All meaningless. The only thing that matters is the cup, and anything that is not the cup is meaningless.
Cut.
That's basically where I stand on that.
So we're coming up to almost 20 minutes. I think we've kind of said what we're going to say.
Yeah, well, you saw it. We saw it. We're glad that we were there in person to see it because the atmosphere, if you
last year when you did this trip, it was not so good.
Well, to be fair, last year's trip, we were playing Colorado. We were down by 2 goals in the third.
True.
We rallied. We sent that game to overtime. We nearly won it in overtime, lost it in a shootout. It wasn't that bad. We were overmatched because Colorado's really good, and we managed to get a point.
Yep.
And
which helped Montreal get to the playoffs last year. So
it wasn't
not
the
failure.
worst. It wasn't like we got caved in 7-0 like they did this year.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year. So this was very satisfying. And the atmosphere. If you've never been to a game at the Bell Center,
you gotta go.
I can't describe to you. Like, the third period alone was worth the price of admission. That third period was better than any game that's ever been played in either Maple Leaf Gardens or the ACC / Scotiabank.
Listen, Patrick knows the story already. I went with my son, who is a Leafs fan. I apologize. I tried my best, but he's a Leafs fan. We went to last year to a Toronto-Montreal game in Toronto, and Montreal got out to a 2-0 lead, and then they got absolutely destroyed by Toronto. I think it was 7-2 or something like that. 6-2, 7-2, something like that. It was really bad. And I paid a lot of money for these tickets. So it was not fun. And I was like, I could hear somebody sneezing across and I was in the upper bowl. So the real fans are in the upper bowl. I was in the upper bowl. And it was like, I thought I could have said a novena or something. There was no atmosphere at all. It was ridiculous.
Well, we were in the upper deck tonight, and if you're on the Facebook page where you'll see some shots, but you couldn't hear yourself think. When Cole Caulfield got the first star, and he was interviewed by Ren Lavoie, couldn't hear a damn thing. I heard him say, "This is the best place on earth," and that was it.
Yeah.
And it was just...
You couldn't hear yourself think when he scored his first goal.
No. And I'll tell you...
and it was a beautiful goal.
After the game, like in the concourses, people were going nuts. Outside,
ole, ole, ole.
I mean, Montreal was rocking all the way back to our hotel, all the way down Boulevard René-Lévesque. It was just...
To the Nouvelle Hotel, where both of us used to work security when we were in university. Yeah. And on that note, I want to remind everybody to like and subscribe, even share.
Yes. And
go to our Facebook page, go to the YouTube page.
And we'll be back next week, where I will be back in Edmonton and he will be back in Toronto. And
what games are this week?
Games are this week? Well, Tuesday, they will be playing, they will be hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. I will be at that game. He won't. And then on Thursday, I believe we're playing the Columbus Blue.
Ooh, and the Blue Jackets are now in third in their division.
There will be some consequential games this week.
Yes.
And we will be here where we normally are next week to talk about it and hash it out. And we hope you will join us. So
until then, au revoir.
Bonsoir.